But we need to see them have a little bit of extra gear here. And it looks like the gear is going to be rushing straight in towards this B side as they're starting on the T side and Avi on the CT.
Yeah, they have a decent stack here as well. Already a fourth player rotating in, but Rez is going to be the one getting the opener. Flamey straight through the smoke, has been able to return. Electronic is just going to be sticking around close to the majority of these players, giving them the man advantage and a fadeaway tap onto one more, giving this even further in their control. It is done. That was so clean from Na'Vi on the retake. A good read into the pistol as well. Everybody was here by the time the bomb actually went down, and they're just looking for any extra pieces of utility. But I think one of the main things I was going to highlight is Electronic hasn't properly, at least, turned up at this tournament. Like, you looked at him at ICE, they lost the tournament and he got MVP, which whenever that happens, you know that that player has been absolutely ridiculous. So the fact that he hasn't shown up and they've still either won their game or come very, very close, like the game versus Fnatic, it really could have gone either way. If he now steps up, Nip is screwed. I don't think there's... if Simple and Electronic are both playing well, they don't stand a chance. So they've got to hope that that isn't the case. Not the best of signs when Electronic does that in the pistol round.
Yeah, that fadeaway shot on the bench was pretty damn ridiculous. Also, what was ridiculous was how quick Simple got behind them in apartments. I was actually surprised to see them like already be there basically as the bomb was going down. So great job by Na'Vi to delay, and also a great read as well. Plopsky looking to make something work here with the SG. I mean, they still have two of them. They got the bomb down. They have a scout on twist as well. They still have potential to do some pretty decent damage here in this round. And at the moment, Na'Vi are putting a heavy emphasis towards middle. They have Boomage playing very far back towards A. And then, of course, the two players towards the B site. So they're not really pushing for information, but with Flamey just kind of spotting middle like this, that's getting them a lot of info alone. See Electronic as well, trying to watch down towards underpass. Spots out at least one, backs away. Nade comes in, bounces a little bit off, unfortunately, for Flamey. But at least know there's going to be one, potentially two players here in mid, so they can maybe force out the rotator, maybe have Flamey actually a little bit better here from short, especially if they try to transition towards A. I mean, they still have a good amount of utility left for NIP.
Yeah, that's the real advantage I think they have in this round. Of course, the SG is the other, but the fact that they can go for some sort of execution. The only worry is the one smoke. Like, where do you actually decide to put that down if you're heading into the B site? You can't smoke off the full cross onto short. If that's the direction you go, do you try and bounce it in front of the window instead, or even just place it onto the site and allow for some sort of bomb plant to come in? Either way, Perfecto is going to be pressured. He's got the SMG, which for the majority of players is going to do a hell of a lot of damage, and Rez is already gone, but there's Plopsky on the trade. Flamey in the corner needs this kill, and Plopsky will get both entries, leaving Boomage Simple to support, but he's dropped the bomb and snaps onto Plopsky as well. He's left it all onto one player, and that was just filthy from Simple. Exactly what we've come to expect from him, but just shutting that round down before NIP can get the plant.
Unfortunate too. NIP looked like they had a really good chance to get that bomb down and potentially have a nice after plant situation. But then again, it is Na'Vi, like you said. They are able to rescue the two SGs from the CT or from the T side. And
oh dear.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried now, at least when it comes into this round. But then again, it's just some pistols bought for NIP. You would imagine Na'Vi should be going up 3-0 so far in this map. And I do love me some mid-presence. I was talking to Wolfie yesterday when we were casting a Mirage. I was like...
No, you?
Yeah, me? What? I love mid-presence out of the CT side, and Flamey with a nice little shot there. Does take Nox's head off. It's having a rough time with nades so far for Flamey.
Well, I think if they're winning the rounds, I don't think that's going to be his main concern. Simple. You can see the temptation, wanting to go for some sort of phase. They're fairly happy to give mid-control away, and well, there you go. Waits for the timing on the kill to come in. Just looking to pad those stats as much as possible. Well, for now, it's just going to be Rez and Lekra hoping they can cause some damage. I don't think there's really any way that they could hope to win this round. They do still have control of the bomb, and there is plenty of time remaining at least, but in reality, this should be fairly simplistic for Na'Vi. It's actually a map where I'm quite surprised this has been one that they've picked. Both teams are kind of in a bit of a questionable state, I would say, on this map. Obviously, NIP and Na'Vi have recently made roster changes, so maybe that's the way they're looking at things. Like, okay, we're going to try and change things up. Rez, that's a nice little shot, as clean as you like. Well, I wonder when those will stop feeling impressive, because it is like basically just looking down the scope. Boomage, that's probably not that difficult for him to do, really, considering what the gun is, but it just looks clean.
It's like, you know, at what kind of level does the norm become those kind of shots, you know? But then again, Simple still impresses every time we see him, so...
That is true. That's the one thing that is always constant with Simple. Even if he doesn't have, like, a worldy game, he'll do something where you're just like, oh, come on. Like, come on, man, don't do that to them. Like, they didn't deserve that. He's already done it once. Like, that snap to the second player was dirty, but that's not even close to the level of Simple. And now he's got his AWP in hand. He throws down the smoke to disable that Molotov. Has support from Electronic, but he's going to go down without any response, and in fact Simple's going to be tagged within inches of his life as well, so a much better start into this round for the Ninjas. But in the meantime, Boomage is going to use his initiative, try and gain some map control, try and take something back, but it seems like Twist might be watching for this.
Oh, we saw Boomage just shot before. Oh man, he's not going to expect Boomage to be here, and I wonder if he's actually going to make any noise in towards T-Spawn. The thing is, they do have a guy in Palace. Like, Knock is there. Oh, now they're going to know he's there. He's like, wait, what? And eventually able to clean it up to return the frag back onto him. So just trading a 1-for-1. You know, have Perfecto back towards Ticket. Simple's still alive, though, and you can never count him down. And, of course, Flamey over towards Short, trying to look in towards Delpen, where Lek was just waiting, trying to hold that angle. 45 seconds left to go. Only one smoke left for NIP. And it looks like they might try to go back towards this B site where, you know, look who's waiting.
Yeah, he has support as well. That's where Na'Vi have somewhat gambled. In fact, you've even got Perfecto watching just in case somebody tries to wrap around through the mid position. Nice work from Flamey. Turns it into a 3 versus 3. Simple now going to be pressured, but he connects his shot as well. Twist now starting to doubt the idea of going in that direction, but with the rotation taking time, Nork is going to have to do a good job of holding off any players wrapping around, and unfortunately, Perfecto's already in from behind. He does manage to kill off Flamey, but he can't stop. There's nothing he can do here. The spray down doesn't actually get the kill. In fact, Nork turns around, but Simple's hit the shot instead. It's Nork having to spin back to try and help out his teammate, and Simple takes the play and gets the kill.
6 HP as well. I mean, just the turnaround, right, with Knock. It allows Simple to go for the shot where he potentially would have been dropped and the bomb could have gone down. So well done by Na'Vi to peek and kind of use each other to those advantages. And now NIP going to be back on the save. They have the SG save from Knock. They have the scout for Plopsky and the Deagles behind this, but Na'Vi 4-0. Thing is, like, Na'Vi had to play 2 excruciating series that went 2-1. They are 100% warmed up into this tournament. There's no doubt about that. NIP, they had a rough time in their first match, and then they had a fairly easy win up against Cloud9. So at least some confidence should have been able to build up for these Swedes, but so far Na'Vi looking phenomenal.
Yeah, the worry is as well as you almost feel like this has to be a must-win game. Like, Na'Vi's train has actually been very good, able to beat Mouse Sports, they beat Complexity, okay, take that as you will. The only loss they've had over the last few months has been to Astralis, which... It's Astralis. Like, you can kind of forgive that one. Whereas their Mirage, there is some vulnerabilities there. Like, they've had losses even just yesterday. We saw them versus Fnatic. It didn't go too well. They've also lost to EG a couple of times before the break. So, and then the only 2 wins they actually have are Complexity and OG, which, again, like, they're matches that you expect them to win. Similarly, you can say the same. FaZe and Liquid losses for NIP on this map, but other than the FaZe game, they were actually very, very close, but even still, Na'Vi are not going to let this one go easily, and if they win this one, then you really do have to worry for the Swedes. Even still, all the utility that's on the CT side has been expended. Just 2 flashes to try and get into this site. Tease, Boomage, aggressive, perfect. Oh, Plopsky, sorry, not the right gun to have there, but he gets away with it. Unfortunately, well, it's an absolute slaughter. Very, very easy for them to clean that up in the end.
And I remember I was talking before we started the game about how Knock is like the top performer and Simple. And I realized for some reason I didn't have the number on my page. I turned the page because I forgot to put the notes on the next page. And I actually do have the numbers here. So Simple, he's the only one positive for Na'Vi right now is +28. And then you have Knock on NIP who's +19. And they've also had a big difference in the opponents they've met up to this point. You know, NIP played Vitality and then Cloud9. Na'Vi played FaZe and Fnatic. Like, it's kind of hard to judge these two in terms of like going head-to-head against each other, but the path they took to get here is seeming to be completely different in terms of difficulty.
Well, yeah, Na'Vi have had a very, very tough route match so far, and in all honesty, the wins they've had, it was a decent victory, and then the loss they had, again, it could have gone back the other way, and Fnatic have looked phenomenal so far in the tournament. Like, at the moment, in terms of how they've come into things, this is looking like the team that could have won this last time. So I would be scared facing off against Fnatic. We'll see how they actually do versus Astralis, which, as said, is basically the champions of Katowice facing off against each other. So that'll be an exciting matchup, of course.
I mean, if JW remembers that they actually won. If you guys saw that clip with Frankie, I laughed so hard. Whoever clipped that did so perfect with it as well. Just that look of dumbfoundedness on his face, like, oh yeah, we won 2 years ago. But hey, with the amount of tournaments they play, I can understand. You don't remember what happened 2 years.
Well, the amount of trophies as well that he must have at this point, I'm sure it's very easy to forget just one.
Whole room dedicated.
He had to get an extension on his house, I'm sure, just to fit all the trophies. But even still, this round already, a lot of early damage done onto the Ninjas. Again, though, the CT side, a minute left, and they only have a few flashbangs and a smoke. They really are using a lot of utility early on. However, T's aren't really challenging them all that much in the latter portions of the round. We've seen some fairly simplistic cleanups, these individual battles which are just handing frags away. The bomb dropped onto short, and Electronic in a crossfire with Flamey, looking to tag team anybody that looks to make that cross. And while Simple adding one more to the body pile, this is looking done already. Just one man left. Lecro, he at least gets a parting gift of a kill, but so far this has been a little bit too clean coming out from Na'Vi. Can Lecro at least do some damage? I don't think he can win this round.
It just seemed like one by one NIP fell. It wasn't even like a big skirmish. There was no trade frags or anything like that. Walk around a corner, Flamey gets one. Walk a little bit more, Electronic gets one. Walk a little bit more, Flamey gets another. Like, it's not like there's these big little bouts. It's just people getting picked off, and Na'Vi just doing such a good job of just playing around this time and playing around these kills so well.
It's not even like as well that they're doing anything particularly different. Like, Flamey has been on short pretty much every single round. So if you're going to face him while holding the bomb, I don't really know what you expect to happen. And they haven't been missing their shots either. Simple is currently 10-0, which, you know, it's not the most uncommon thing in the world, but at the same time, it's not something you want to see if you're on the other side. And it's understandable the Ninjas are going to take themselves a pause, give Threat a chance to maybe make some observations about how things are going, have a talk about how they can actually change things.
I think this one's actually a tech pause.
Is it?
Yeah. Nothing came up about NIP taking a pause, so I don't think they're allowed to talk here.
I
would agree.
I hope
would be a
they
perfect
back
time
this
for
onto a tactical pause.
Can they? Are you allowed to have like attack and then attack? Or attack and attack?
Yeah. You
attack.
Otherwise, that would just mean because there's a technical pause, they're not allowed to take a timeout. That would be kind of harsh. It's like, sorry, something broke, so no, you have to wait another couple of rounds. Yeah.
Did you turn it on? Oh.
Well, I just always like the fact that whenever you see Neil at an event, he does have more and more cables. Every time, like, he seems to, like, by the end, I think he'll just need a bag of cables because he just walks around carrying them. It's always enjoyable to watch.
He needs fanny packs, you know?
I don't know how many cables he'd be able to fit. It's like
a lot of fanny packs. A lot of them.
Oh, God. He'd be the ultimate dad at that point, just basically just all the way around.
Does he have the dad body to back it up?
I don't know. No, I'm sure he's ripped. I'm sure
he's got to be carrying around those cables, right? Well, one thing we can say is that Na'Vi have definitely shown up in this match to play. 6-0, honestly, like even thinking back to the pistol round, just the electronic fadeaway shot, like they looked composed the entire way through. And I mean, that's to be fair. Like if you're NIP against Na'Vi here, as an NIP fan or NIP player, you're probably going to come in as the underdog. I mean, it's Na'Vi, right? With how they've been playing, with how good they've been playing this tournament alone. And it's up to NIP to be the ones to figure out, like, what can they do a little bit differently here? What can they change up? How can they work against the defensive holds that Na'Vi's been going for? Because Na'Vi have not been forced, as you mentioned, to switch really anything.
Well, yeah, no, I think they've also had some, like, decent, like, warm-up events as well. Like, sure, they faced off against Mousesports in the finals of ICE, and they lost that one, but in the rest of the tournament, they performed quite well. We also saw them end up, like, having the initial poor start when it came to Blast and then fight all the way back through to get themselves into the playoff stage there. So they have had we basically look at them and Fnatic as the polar opposite. So that's why that matchup yesterday was so interesting. Fnatic have just been basically preparing for this event. They were, I think, either one of, if not the first team actually in this event because of their victory at DreamHack. So it's one of those things where they have been ready for this for a long, long time. Na'Vi, on the other hand, have been going, okay, we got a new player. We're going to play some events to get him suited for these next few. And to be fair to Perfecto, okay, this game he hasn't had to do too much, but he has been playing well. It's not like we've been looking at him as like the outcast or somebody who's at the bottom of the board and underperforming. He has been putting up numbers.
Yeah, like I kind of think of maybe like when Boomage first took a little bit of time to kick in, right? Took a little time of grinding to really get him associated with the team and like working well.
Brocky as well, like they're not like underperforming by any stretch, but at the same time, you know there's more to come. And I think that the change was definitely warranted. Like getting Simple back on this AWP. Obviously, it's sad to see Guardian like move away from this roster, but it never really worked.
Get him and Markaloff on a team together. I'd love to see that. I miss Markaloff. He's like one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
He is, but that's the reason why people want to see him back, not necessarily because he has the skill level to play anywhere near the level of this team anymore.
Yeah, true. By the way, if you guys are watching here on the B stream, on the main stream, there's still Virtus.pro up against Mad Lions, currently tied at 1 apiece in the series. Over on Dust 2 now, I can't tell you what the score is because I don't actually have the numbers on it, but that is definitely a series you're still going to want to see. That's an elimination match, but stick around with us. Just put it up on your other monitor. If you don't have another monitor, then just...
it's 5-1 to VP.
There you go. If you don't have another monitor, use your phone and your PC.
Or you can do the little, like, the dual stream thing that they have for Twitch.
No, keep us full screen, though. No. I require you to keep us...
You can keep our volume on and then have the other stream.
Yeah, definitely don't mute us.
Or do. You know, I don't mind. I don't
What
care.
if they could mute individual casters? So they just mute me and then they just leave you on the whole time.
It'd probably be a bit weird with the back and forth, but I can understand it, you know?
The smooth voice of Tom Biz. Oh, here we go. Looks like NIP grouping up for a push on towards the B site where Perfecto, well, I guess he'll get his first real challenge as Flamey can rotate in to help out. But they have the smokes, they have the flashbangs. I imagine, well, I was going to imagine they have a chance to definitely get this bomb down. However, Simple's rotated into the kitchen. Flamey's coming back, and now there's going to be 3 defenders here to hold on.
Yeah, the read again from Na'Vi is spot on. They know exactly where this is going to be coming. I don't know how there wasn't somebody getting hit by that AWP, but even still, eventually it will happen. Unfortunately, Perfecto is the one to fall, so still not going to be padding those stats, but Simple, he will oblige. Take them away! That was so clean. The shots at the end, the pistol to finish it off, and oh dear.
The smirk on his face. The smirk on his face in that picture is probably the exact same smirk he's making right now. Making it look all too easy. 14-0 for him. Dear Lord. Yeah, I mean, they had the perfect read. They were hitting their shots. They had them like all bunched up inside of apartments as well. They weren't able to get cleanly out. And now it's a 7-0 lead here for Na'Vi.
At least now we do have a buy back. We've already seen how the possible comebacks are, especially in the FaZe game yesterday being so far up and then it coming all the way back to almost an even half. 8 rounds in a row, 7 rounds back from the Renegades. It is possible, even if you are the underdog in this scenario, but there needs to be something coming up from NIP, of course, a new roster. Not necessarily the most experienced a lot of the time as well. Like they've gone for younger talent. Sure, they've been around for a while, but we'll see if they're going to be able to do anything in this round. Nork kicking it off with a kill onto Boomage. The aggression on ramp not really succeeding. And interestingly, there's 3 players around the window at the moment for Na'Vi. So again, we're seeing these reads come out from them where they're almost gambling their defense dependent on what happens early into the round. So Boomage goes down. They make the call to basically stack this A site. But this time, at least, it seems like they've got the wrong end of the stick. The only thing I wonder is, by the time the push comes in, will that all change?
I wasn't actually expecting Boomage to do something like that, considering like more of the passive plays they've been doing has been netting them this current lead they do have. Perfecto, well, it looks like he will get the rotation in from Simple to come help him out. Flamey, in the meantime, does get one. The push going to come in. Perfecto's going to have to hold strong here, and he only has the M4 to do it, but the Molotov's burning them down. Look how low they're getting on HP before they even get out of apartments here. Simple trying to get in the rotate. He's going to be there to support as well, and NIP have yet to come out. Finally, they get 1 or 2 players through, but Perfecto gets the first, not able to get the second, but Simple's still here.
Plopsky able to pick off Simple. Jason's not too happy about that one. He curses the man who was 14-0, and they finally managed to put him down. They get the bomb down with literal seconds to spare. I don't think Twist was realizing that he was open to that spot, but Plopski's just going ham. A triple kill for him already, leaving Flamey alone in a 1 versus 3. They have been able to do damage over the last 7 rounds, so it's not the best position financially. And clearly Flamey wanting to try and retrieve that AWP and also move that Krieg a little bit further back, but it doesn't really matter. They have them on the other side anyway.
I honestly thought he was leaving at first just to save the Krieg. Just to save it for the
Why
next
not?
round. And
Why
then he went
not?
back for the AWP, and I was like, oh.
That's disappointing. Yeah, I don't know. I would, to be honest, you'd just go, hey, simple, you can afford an AWP. Buy your own. I want my Krieg.
I mean, if you got Brolin on your team, I can understand that.
Yeah, he's nuts with it. It gets to the point where I feel like him having it is like when someone buys an auto sniper and you're just going, oh yeah, okay, this again.
Yeah.
Just gonna kill everyone. Do you feel good about yourself, Brolin? Yeah, you probably do. You're getting to the playoff stage of a major tournament.
It's like playing an OP character in like a fighting game. It's like, do you really feel good about that victory? Come on. But to be fair to NIP, considering how they got bunched up and held in apartments, I'm actually surprised to see them take the round because they took so much damage getting through and there was so much time bought for the rotations to come in. Either way now, with the first round, can they build this into a second? Simple.
Good thing they saved that AWP.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to get that pick onto Rez. The thing is, so far, it's basically been Plopski trying to drag them through. He's had a couple of moments where he's got entries into the site on B. He's been playing well, but the rest of the team are yet to really wake up. And well, he has been a great addition to this Ninja side. There's no doubt about that. Letcrow, not able to see anything just yet. Of course, not quite playing the angle, so Flamey's still just going to be hiding behind.
I did that as well. I was like, oh, can you see him? And I had to like edge myself a little bit further to see the screen.
For now, though, the T's just taking their time. Of course, a man down already. Electronic still not having one of his worldy performances, but as of right now, it hasn't really been necessary. Playing around that connector area, Plopski forcing Flamey back. Looking like he's going to go for a further peek. He's got to be careful. I don't know if he knows the Lecro's this close around the corner, but he finds the kill anyway. He's been a menace on short, but finally gets put down. Perfecto is still here, however, already killing off Plopski and able to make his way back to the site.
Twist with a decent angle, though. He knows that Perfecto really can't go too far. Actually, he's going to drop down. Not going to be hurt. Gets the tag on Perfecto, but now he's alone by himself, and Na'Vi will eventually overwhelm him and take their 8th round now. And the money, well, they still technically have enough to buy up here for NIP. They've gone towards this B site so many times. I'm actually surprised to not see like an execute towards A and then just play an afterplant situation.
Yeah, I think the issue with that is, though, that they've struggled to get in. Like, at least with the B site, you had Plopski initially getting quite a lot of good entries. So, and it was actually more in the afterplant situation, or at least when they got to the site, where things went a little bit wrong. So if you can get the B site, and the problem that you're having is holding on to it, I think that's something that is easier to fix than, okay,
True.
we weren't getting entries anywhere else. So I can understand it. The only issue is now they're going to try and fall back into the A site. It doesn't seem like they've really caught anyone off guard, especially with no mid presence. And it's, again, going to be a great read coming out from Na'Vi. They have 3 players here, lots of counter utility being thrown out just to give some space to their different players. Some even burning down, and all alone, Plopski just goes running in. Everybody else was isolated, but he was stuck on a Molotov and didn't really have a choice. Boomage takes a lot of damage, but it doesn't seem to matter. Electronic now starting to come up big as he lurks around the edge of the smoke. Letcrow will only be able to get 1, and that is a very clean round once again from Na'Vi. I have to say, like, their calls, their information finding, like their pushes into mid that have just given them so much is making it very, very easy for them to shut out rounds, because I think we've seen at least maybe 5 rounds where they've had 3+ players on the side that NIP push into.
I mean, with the position Flamey's holding towards short, he's holding like really aggressive as well. So he's going to rotate quickly towards the A site. But one thing I want to point out there was the counter utility to Na'Vi. They put smoke into shadow or into dark, so then if there was someone there, you can't Molotov them out, and you have to try to hard clear them by spraying. They had Molotovs on top of it, so that's why Perfecto had to jump out and fall. They had nades coming in as well, which already dropped him down to about 20, 30 HP before the Molotov landed. It was just so well done. Like, they punished NIP on the engagement. They kept them back on ramp as well. You saw the 3 players still there waiting to push out because of the Molotov blocking them. And Na'Vi, that was just clinical.
Yeah, they basically forced their play to be disjointed, which that's easier said than done, especially with the amount of utility that NIP used initially. They kind of had to even go for it there, because falling back was one of those scenarios where you go, okay, are we now going to be able to get back into a site with nothing? And well, speaking of nothing, that's basically what they have here. A hero AK onto naught. So far, just nothing's happening. They're winning every single duel on the Na'Vi side. That's already 3 kills within the first 25 seconds of the round, and Flamey really wanting to try and pad those stats that little bit further. Lecro sneaking into the smoke. Flamey is prepared for it, but looks away and will lose his life. We definitely know that Lecro can use that dig to a very high level at times. Even still, though, a big disadvantage. Plopsky going to be tagged to 11 HP, and Boomage just pushing further forward. He wants more and more kills, leaving Lecro all alone. They know roughly where he was as well, so chances of anything coming up here slim, and a double-digit half already for Na'Vi, only losing 1 in return.
NIP struggling here to get that second round that they desperately need. You see them resorting to that, like you saw Lecro's deagle play through the smoke. And honestly, with the way Na'Vi have been playing, it's just so weird because they're not really, like Simple's not holding the same position consistently. Like last round, he went towards Ticket, played from there with the op. This round, he's going in towards middle. It's hard to get a lockdown of where he's going to be so you can counter him, right? Like, you know, your Zywoo, you can figure out how he plays, but you have to try to play around it. If you spot out where Simple is, you try to go somewhere else. But just because he's everywhere, you feel like you have nowhere to go.
Well, that is the issue when playing against this Na'Vi side at the moment, is there isn't much point trying to counter Simple. And that sounds silly, but it's just because, well, we see that tournaments like ICE, sometimes he's not even the best player on his own team. Like, Electronic can step up and be that star player. So if you're trying to counter one, normally you give space to another, and we're seeing players like Flamey, he's performed well in this. Electronic, 11-4, you've got Boomage up there as well. There's nothing they can really do. This time, they've gained a lot of ground, but Electronic is still going to get that opening pick. Again, it's Plopsky to fight back. He ends up with 2, and now Simple looks to chime in on his own. The T's have done a good job of at least getting this site control. They don't have any utility to really hold on to this, though. They need to get that bomb down, which they will be able to do. The smoke will hold out 2 of the remaining players. In fact, 3 around this spot. Flashbang going to come in, and Plopsky, he's got his 3rd of the round. Like, this man is trying to drag them through this, but they finally put him down. Rez will now pounce, and he can clean up the round. Again, another big play coming up for Plopsky. That is the 3rd time he's managed to double and triple entry into a site, and they still only have 2 rounds.
A nice little change up as well for NIP, because you saw Na'Vi try to disjoint the attack yet again. They kept 2 players locked inside a Palace, but when Plopsky can just walk into the site and get kills like that, disjointing them doesn't really do too much. So Na'Vi still have the game plan, but NIP coming out ahead in that round. But here we go now. Can they take another round in a row for the first time here in this series?
Well, that's the thing. If they can at least get this round, they have a chance to get to 5, which all in all wouldn't be the end of the world. It's at least workable. The economy now for Na'Vi is starting to take a little bit of a hit, although you do have a couple of players who could still invest something into the next round. But they need to do it now. If they lose this round and they allow Na'Vi to build up their finances once again, bear in mind the last time they won a round, Na'Vi came back with a flawless victory. That's it. That is basically this map already coming to a close. So this really is it. Utility already being expended again quite early on, as the T's do have some pieces missing, just trying to keep control of this mid control. Because I think that's been one of the real issues, is that because middle has been so firmly in the hands of Na'Vi for the majority of this map, it's very easy for them to work out where NIP have been going. This time, they haven't allowed them mid control, and you look at this B push, it's not anywhere near as stacked as it was previously. In fact, Perfecto is alone.
Oh, Flamey's going to spot out 1 towards short, though. Perfecto gets the first kill now. Just trying to play survival here. Flamey gets himself a 2nd. The push is still going to be coming in, but Perfecto has not been spotted out. He's doing such a good job of playing around these smokes. Simple rotating back in towards kitchen. They're still trying to find out the player on the site, and they still have yet to find him. Simple's there, gets a kill. Rez now trying to deal with Simple, who's going to be in the kitchen position. He'll take him down, gets around behind Perfecto. And Rez. We talked about Plopsky popping off. Rez gets himself a quad kill, but he's got 1 more player to find. And will he expect Boomage from coming in from apartment? 16 HP for Rez. Last kill for the ace and for the round. He's going to be checking this direction now. Jumps up. I don't think he actually spotted him, but it doesn't matter now because Boomich is going to peek. Boomich will get the kill. Saved around here for Na'Vi, but that came down to being way too close. And Tom, what worries me is that the rounds NIP seem to get close or to win come down to that one player stepping up and getting a triple kill or even a quad kill.
Yeah, no, Rez able to basically do everything. He goes in, kills Simple, then wraps back around, finds Plopsky and Flamey, basically clears the whole B defense. And in the meantime, all of his teammates fall. So, yeah, we've had the moments of individual brilliance that could have brought the Ninjas into this map. Unfortunately, they haven't all been converted into rounds, and they've been able to cling on, push through the smoke, though. That's going to be Boomich down early on Rez again, but it's Simple with a triple straight back, evening things up. His teammate's going to be able to rotate around Rez, already tagged relatively low, but it's Plopsky once again. Another double into this site, leaving Perfecto alone. He hasn't been able to do too much in this map so far, not necessarily because of a poor performance. This would be one hell of a way to step up. He's been spotted, though. They know exactly where he's coming from. Rez just going to try and play a more passive position. Plopsky even falling back into the connector to force a headshot angle, and even going to be holding the cross, you'd think, but he'll actually get in onto Rez. Even still, though, he's taken a hell of a lot of damage. Smoke going to be going down around the bomb. The question is, can he actually get this diffusal off? He's going to try and tap it, bait it. Plopsky goes for the peek and finds it as well. 4 HP. Plopsky down. Perfecto with the clutch. Can you change your name so you don't both begin with P?
Yep.
And yeah, big plays from him. And this is what I mean. It's not necessarily that he's having a bad game. He just hasn't had the space a lot of the time to try and make the big plays. And the Ninjas, I think they're going to be kicking themselves there, because I'm surprised that he was able to cross. Like, Perfecto, I feel like should have been caught by Plopsky as he crossed past that connector peak. But it seems like Plopsky was so far back, he was basically playing this as, okay, we are 2 individuals rather than a team.
I think I just got a migraine from trying to understand that because the Plopsky and Perfecto there. Simple again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's Simple. Flamey's got your favorite shotgun. Just want to point that out for you if you haven't noticed. But NIP, this is their map choice, keep in mind.
Doesn't look like him.
Yeah, it seems to go that way in Counter-Strike more often than not. A Twist able to respond, though. Able to get the kill onto Boomish, who, again, this is like the second round I think he's been punished. Actually, even like third round he's been punished, trying to get aggressive over towards a ramp. Prior, it has actually netted them a round win for NIP, but again, Simple second headshot of the round with AWP. Electron looking to push in. They're both not looking for him, and he gets the first and the second as well. Simple setting them up perfectly, and Electronic knocking them down. And Na'Vi will get the 13-2 scoreline at the end of the first half. And yeah, what is there to say now about this? That's insane stuff.
Yeah, it was dominant, and a lot of it came down to their information plays. They were able to get very, very aggressive into these pushes, and it was a strong half performance. The only real issue is I don't see how NIP now come back. Like, that is almost as good as you can get on the first half.
Well, you know what? We're going to find out if they can come back, and we're going to find out how they do it if they do it after this break.
You're mine. I wanna run away. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. and I feel the lies and I feel the same. Forever who we are, no matter if we're cast away. A fire in the dark. I know that you love me when I wake up.
Welcome back, everyone, to our second half of our second match of our first map in the series.
Why? Why would you do that? Like,
I'm
why
just trying to, because all of our viewers are smart. All of our viewers are global elite and can understand the confusing phrases that I say.
IQ,
Yeah.
all of that.
Definitely. But Navi up 13-2 at the end of the first half here on NIP's choice of Mirage. Now I'm going to see NIP if they can find the magic formula here to hold on and to hopefully start to pick up some rounds and some steam, because this is a very demoralizing loss so far.
Yeah, I don't see a way that they get back into this, in all honesty. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for any Ninjas fans that still believed, but we're yet to really see much at all. Like, sure, there was some decent plays coming out from Plopsky. We had one decent play coming out of Rez, but that's not the start they were looking for. Nork is already gone. Plopsky at the back of the site has to basically do everything. He does manage a pick at least, but in the meantime, the bomb has gone down. Now, the T side haven't been able to take too much control, but they've been able to get a decent plant at Electronic. He cuts off their rotation. Now they have the opening to defend that bomb. This is basically perfect for Na'Vi in terms of a retake scenario. They do have a smoke and a kit, so maybe they can hope for that miracle play of all the Glock shots missing, but they need to clear out some of these players before they can go for that, and it's just not happening. Another kill comes in. The smoke doesn't drop in time as well. Twist just has to try and get towards that bomb, and just look at Boobage. He's just going to be knifing around it at this point, just making sure there's nothing they can do. A dominant pistol round as well for Na'Vi, and the final nail in the coffin for NIP.
Just hilarious just seeing someone just like, I mean, you can't see it on camera, just trying to knife left and right while sitting there on top of the bomb. But yeah, so well done. Like you pointed out, Electronic, he started to come alive here. I know you were saying so far in the tournament, he's been relatively quiet. For him. But he's starting to really do some work here. 17-7 as
Simple
well now.
has a Nova on the T side. I think he might be having some fun with this, Jason. Because
no fun, only win.
I can't really think of too many reasons to have this gun on the T side.
Just
maybe
watch.
JW every did it once in a while, but I feel like he is the perfect example of someone who likes to have some fun during matches.
You're going to see exactly why he buys the Nova.
Hey, I will gladly see some Nova kills coming in here, but he's got a Tech 9. I feel like the Nova's almost the secondary weapon to his Tech 9.
I mean,
seems to be.
Maybe he's been playing some Left 4 Dead and he wants to, you know, go skeet some hunters.
He does also have a pretty nice skin on it. At least he's invested into this Nova. We'll see. And there's going to be the rest of the team with more normal weapons, you could say. Flamey actually going to take a relative amount of damage early on. I'm sure he wouldn't be too happy swapping his gun out for the Nova, however.
Sim was like, no, this is mine.
My Nova. Chance to make some real money, though. That's the good thing about it. $900 per kill. 1 kill, and you've almost made your investment back already. Rez, I think he'll be pretty surprised at the sound of the gun that comes around the corner, but both players, well, holding a gun that's one shot to the face. We'll see who gets that duel done. In the meantime, the rest of the Ts are going to be rotating back around to set up for what will be an A-site hit, and there's still 2 players around the ladder room. It will give them a relatively quick rotation. In fact, that rotation's already starting to begin as Letcro is getting itchy feet, moving his way in this direction. Simple is the only man around the connector and just wrecks one. Lekro puts him down before it gets too embarrassing for the side, and actually, Plopsky is able to find one with the scout. This is looking a little bit worrying, in fact, as the bomb is yet to go down. They're running out of time, and the Deegs do the work. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence from Na'Vi. Maybe they really do want to bring the Nova back into fashion, but even still, NIP have given themselves the smallest of lifelines as they win the 4-spy round.
A little bit sad. I wanted to see him get the second with the Nova. I know it's a little bit biased, but you know, you just got to see it sometimes. Either way, NIP do maintain the round though. At least it was looking very grim for them, as we mentioned before. 14-3, 14-2 before. That's not the kind of scoreline you want to see when you're on your last leg in the tournament. Remember, this is an elimination match. Loser this is knocked out. Winner goes on to play up against the winner of Vitality and FaZe Clan. So potential rematch coming in for Na'Vi.
This lower bracket is actually just disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Like this whole group in general is just brutal, but that is always going to be the case when I think they basically put out that this is one of the best tournaments ever in terms of the amount of players they have from the top rankings or the top
best
teams.
Best talent team is working on it as well.
Sure, let's go with that. Boomage, he's going to be able to get the opener with the Deeg. Twist will go down. They're looking like they're actually going to switch back to the A site. There's only one player actually with any vision in that direction. Plopsky trying to stop them actually getting there, and Lekro is going to be able to pick off one player in towards the amps, but I think that was Perfecto mainly just trying to hold players there as they do look to swarm towards this A site. Nork waiting for a little bit of support, and the shots coming from short. There's not really too much they could do about that, but they are going to clear one. In fact, push in to try and clear CT completely. It would have given them a safer plant, and actually Flamey's going to hit another shot. He as well, stepping up when needed. Leaves Rez and Lekro. They've at least retrieved some rifles to fight this one back with. Do they know that Simple's in the corner? I don't think he does. This could be a free kill for one of the world's best players. Rez, unlikely to know, and even the turnaround, the second shot is just disgusting from Simple, but with the way he's been playing this game, I don't even think it's a surprise anymore. 26-6, 15-3. And while it's going to have to be a 4-spy coming in for the Ninjas just to try and survive in their own map choice.
Ridiculous stuff. I wonder if Simple just yawned after that. Like, oh, that's too easy.
Don't worry, guys, I got this. Flamey's like, but I got 2 kills inside. He's like, shh, Flamey, come on. We all know that this was all me.
My kills. My round. Still, though, I want to see NIP step up a little bit. I mean, maybe this map's a little bit too far gone for them. Train, I mean, obviously, that's going to be a very difficult map for NIP up against Na'Vi, but I still want to see more life out of this team. I'm happy to see that they got a roster they seem confident with. I just want to see it hit that level of performance that we know they potentially can do. But Na'Vi are looking just so damn refined at the moment. They really haven't been tested on the T side because, honestly, we haven't had that many T side rounds. Even on the CT side, a little bit of fun happening for them, and they still had a pretty flawless first half.
Well, both players almost even share. Electronic still in the corner. Twist watching for that position. He had one of the best performances in their game yesterday, and currently on 3 kills. Like, it's not been a good play for the majority of the players, but even still, that is slightly ludicrous. Plopsky trying to do more work with the scout again. Another tag. 3 players now low. There's possibilities. In fact, 2 Deegs come in at the same time. Flamey looking to try and trade this out, and that's exactly what he does. Leaving it all onto Lekro to try and help them survive in this map of 1 versus 3, and it is not going to happen. A 4K for Flamey to finish. Absolute domination on Mirage.